All right. So the title is "What You Sow Is What You Reap." So come on, RW3, tell them about
Hallelujah.
Don't do the pastor.
Don't do that.
From that last pastor.
All right.
He's something else.
So we this week we were able to pull this scenario with this gentleman. He says he's been in a relationship for the past 3 years. He says the relationship has had many ups and downs. He mentions that he, over the 3-year period, has entertained and hooked up with other women, but he said with no sexual relations. He says,
right,
and he says,
sure.
But he said his current, she, blessed him with a beautiful child, something he's always wanted. He said now recently, she's been communicating to mutual friends, family, that they've been broken up. It's something that he wasn't aware of, because he says they continue to spend time together as if they're in a relationship, and they're still being intimate sexually with each other. Then ultimately he says that she admitted that she's been kicking it with this other guy. They've been having sex, and he said that hearing that from her just made him numb. And he said he wanted his family back, but she says all he does is lie, and he wants to manipulate her. And he says that's the woman he planned on marrying. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Wait, give me the shorten it up a little bit more.
You want shorter than that?
In a couple of words. Like, okay, so she's cheating on him. She's cheating on him.
According to him.
Okay,
I like that. According to him.
Okay, according to him.
Tracy can shorten it up. Shorten it up, Tracy.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like he did a little cheating.
Right.
No. He said there's been no sexual. He never cheated. He said
he's gone outside the relationship,
but he just haven't had no sexual relations.
Right.
But still.
Well, he's just been having friends or something like that.
Well, he said he's been entertaining women. No sex.
So what's entertaining?
Right.
It's no sex.
What is that, like?
Wait a minute.
He said no sex.
Are they married?
They're not married.
They're not married.
So what's the big deal?
Well, he said that he wants to marry her.
But he said, so basically, they have a child together. Then recently, she said, recently she's been telling people we're not together no more.
Right.
And he said
even though
that's new to him. Even though they're still
him.
dating, they're still being intimate. Then she brought to his attention that, she's intimate with somebody else as well. And she's not really trying to get back with him because he's a liar and he's manipulative. So
okay, so now he wrote this article.
He did.
Yeah.
He put this out. Oh,
he did.
Okay, I got you now.
So he wants your advice, Tom.
He don't want my advice. Run from the hills. Run
towards the hills.
Got your help.
He started the game playing.
Yeah.
He started going outside.
Right.
Even if it didn't go that far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe she didn't intend for it to go as far as it did, but she felt like, hey, if you can play, I can play.
Hold on.
Yeah. But who ran out on who first? Like
her.
So
no,
he was entertaining other women first.
Right.
Tom.
But he wasn't having any sexual relations with them.
But I already know where you gonna go.
But can you guys define entertaining?
But hold on for a second.
What is defining?
He said, Tom, they're in a relationship.
Right.
He said he entertained women, never had sex.
So where did the deception
Hold on
come
for a
in?
second. Then he said she, in the last few months, has been communicating to people, hey, me and him ain't together no more. And on top of that, she told him, I'm dating somebody else and I'm sexing this guy.
Oh.
So these young ladies, it sounds like they're making an argument that he cheated first, when in fact, she cheated right. She cheated first.
Well, I would disagree.
Okay.
Based on what?
Based on how you're defining cheating.
I'm defining it based on his definition.
What is cheating?
I'm sorry.
Right.
Do you have to be a sexual
okay,
or can
let's
you
say
just
this.
be...
Let's not say cheating. She slept with somebody first based on what he said.
Okay, so we're splitting hairs then.
Sleeping with somebody is not splitting hairs.
Yeah, because really the cheating came into play when the deception started. So he never.
So could you and Lady B
defended.
define deception for us lowly men here because we don't know what it means. Teach us.
You got to go on Google.
No, I'm asking y'all what is cheating. What's cheating?
Well, wait, we were talking about deception.
I'm just saying cheating for now. What's cheating? Define it. In your own words.
Going outside of what you and your partner have agreed is okay.
Right. If there's an agreement, is it cheating if y'all never agreed?
Oh, come on.
If there's no answer that question. If there's a stated understanding, is that considered cheating if there's no agreement that you violated?
So cheating means act dishonestly or unfairly in order to gain an advantage, especially in a game or examination.
But the rules
Go ahead, Tom.
set there. I would think that the rules will be set. So I guess this is what I would think. And this is something to me that becomes a problem in dating. Okay, so how can I put it? Are you allowed to have friends of the opposite sex? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we had this discussion before. Then we had this discussion.
I don't know. Let's do it again.
It was back in the day where we talked about how, and me being a man, and I'm just, we're dating, and I have a lot of friends, and they just happen to be the opposite sex. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they're women. So now, is that considered cheating if you know that I have these, relationships, and they happen to be women, but we're not sexually active? You get what I mean? So is that, because that's
but
not.
He didn't define it. He didn't define it.
Could you just answer this specific question,
He
though?
didn't define it.
I know, I ain't
such.
talking about him. Answer the question that he just asked.
I think it is possible for you to have female friend or the friends of the opposite sex.
That's right.
As long as you're conducting yourself in a manner that whatever you're doing out of sight, you could do in front of. Like, you know what I mean? So your behavior is not different. So I think that's possible. But he didn't define his act as I had a few friends. He said I'm entertaining them. Right. And so I go back to that question. Can you please define what entertaining means?
Michael Jackson.
So he was doing the moonwalk on her.
That's entertain.
Right.
Well, he was entertain.
Now,
okay, let me pull up entertain. Let's see what that says.
I guess it can go so many different ways. It seemed like she was entertaining as well. You know what I mean? And something kind of fell in. You know what I mean? While she was doing her entertaining.
What kind of entertainment? She was doing Tina Turner?
Well, she was getting sexed up. I mean,
right.
So entertainment means it says providing amusement or enjoyment.
Well, that could be
so he was entertaining.
That could be anything. We're going out
amusement
to dinner,
or enjoyment.
But she had sex.
Yeah,
he did not.
Well, I mean,
he didn't want to admit it. So okay, we'll go.
So we're speculating.
We're speculating.
Okay,
but go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say we'll go with what was presented, which is him not admitting, him just saying entertaining.
That's right. Mm-hmm. But okay.
But I still say he said deception. So that we read the definition.
That's right.
That's a form of cheating. He did not defend himself or say, I don't understand why she would think I was being deceitful. He acknowledged that. So at some point, he acknowledged that he was cheating.
Well, let me ask you this. In theory, I agree. But do you think each couple in each situation have different definitions of what quote unquote cheating is? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't have the same. Right. Like, for example, Tracy just immediately said deception is cheating. Well, that's Tracy's definition.
That's right.
Based on whatever she would have in any type of relationship she would have. But some people are cool with, what they don't know won't hurt them, and both parties agree.
That's right.
As long as they don't bring it home.
Yeah.
So people have different definitions of what cheating is.
Well, again, I go back to my statement where I said cheating is something outside of what you all have agreed upon.
Okay, you said deception. We don't know.
Okay.
Is cheating and deception the same?
Okay.
That's a good
cheating
question.
and deception.
Yes.
Let me see what deception means.
Hey, be on the roll with looking it up.
Yeah.
He asked you a question. Could you answer that?
I said yes.
Oh, okay.
Cheating.
So
is it the same
deception
thing?
means the action of deceiving someone. It's the action of deceiving someone.
I guess it's how you play it. Word.
So him entertaining another woman, was he
Well,
Was he trying to deceive her?
He never said that he was cheating.
The action of going out and entertaining another woman.
Okay, so to me, the deception part would be if she don't know that he have all of these women. You get what I mean? And he's entertaining all of these women. You know how I get. I'm gonna step out there. I kind of believe that. I don't know if you can have all of these women and the temptation is not there. From a realistic standpoint, and then it depends on how much time are you spending with these young women or women itself, because if you spending a lot of time with them, sooner or later something can go south. He never specified that he did, but he said that she did. So
he said and I forgot, he said I've done my share of lying and entertaining.
And
Other women,
entertaining.
but never meeting up with and hooking up with them.
So
what did that mean? Never
lying,
entertaining.
about
He's still lying.
right? How are we supposed to believe you even what you're saying now?
Well, to me, okay. So now, why would she say that she is not with him when she was?
Well, I think, I think sometimes, guys, sometimes I believe women can't make it clear that we're not together anymore.
Yeah,
and we're just in denial. Because if because generally, and I can't
he
prove,
said that was new,
and I can't prove this, but generally, it's just I think a good woman, generally, is not going to just flat out, I'm going to start dating full-fledged somebody else and begin intimately with them. A good woman, without, I'm done. I believe that, I do believe she's not being as honest. I believe she's like, you know what, I'm tired of this ish. I'm about to go on about my business, and and she started doing her thing because she readily acknowledged to him that I'm seeing somebody else and I'm sleeping with somebody else. I mean, you can't get that out of a woman without catching her.
Yeah.
So she verbally,
I don't know about that. I don't know.
she verbally, she admitted that and told him on her own.
And you like to sing, right? So why don't you give us a verse of that, R. Kelly? When a woman's fed.
Yeah, sing that.
Or Bobby Blue Bland. She's cheating in the next room. Making plans. What about that?
But you know what? I don't think that she was fed. I'm gonna tell you. To me, it sounds as if she knew he was doing what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. She knew what he was doing. So she joined in, and she said, "Since he's doing this,
I'm gonna do this."
Right. I think it was more like that. And to me, sometimes I think, well, I don't know. I won't feed into that. But I guess my thing is just the fact that I don't know. They both sound bold. He might have started off with the relationships and then the lying and maybe it seemed as though he was cheating to her and he really wasn't in terms of the sexual aspects of it. You know what I mean? So now she looked at it and say, no, this Negro lied, and then he done lied in this situation. Where were you? I was over here, but he got caught in a lie. So now she feel like I'm about to do the same thing, but she really go out and do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now let me ask you this. Can you be in a relationship? Can you have so many men or women and you don't have sex with these individuals? Can you do that?
So are you saying the number matters? So 1 or 2 might be okay, but once you start adding 5, 6, or whatever that threshold is, it gets a little dicey.
I think so because the pressure is there that you have to perform.
You don't agree with that clearly.
But let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because if you have one friend and it could be she really don't want to sleep with you. You know what I mean? But what if you have multiple friends? You got to go over here. You got to go over here. You got to go over here. Now, why you need all these friends for one thing?
And I tend to agree that just like I don't count, but lottery tickets, for example, the more tickets you have, it increases your odds
Chances
of
of
hitting
winning.
the lottery.
Yeah, right.
So I guess what I'm saying is, it could. I mean, you could with one, but if you constantly say you got one friend or 7 friends, females, and you constantly expose yourself to that energy,
Right.
the odds are heightened about the number of women that you're dealing with that you may get off into something.
But I think that factor is what you said, the second half of that, which is the amount of time you allow yourself to spend with those people, the quality of time, the type of time that you, because whether it's 6 or whether it's 2, you know, if you catch yourself engaging a lot on a deep level, you know, then you feel that connection.
No, that's not true. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. You can, like Tone said, I mean, you can interact with that one woman and it can be, you know, she's not interested. But if you interact with 10, at least 2 of the women, you don't have to put no work in and you can interact with her sexually without no work and no engagement. You can get her a couple of drinks and sex off one engagement. Because the numbers are great. Because there are some ladies, and I'm not saying it's a negative, but there are some ladies where I just want to get it in. You know, so we go out, a drink, you know, an engagement, boom, we getting it in. So the more women, the likelihood of you catching one of those than just one woman, the numbers, the odds increase.
I will say the numbers increases the probability of you finding that type of woman, but you're in control. So if it depends on what you allow to happen.
But now let me ask you this. Okay, so what if you have that younger, okay, so he have multiple women.
Right.
And what if one of those women, she really like him? She fell in love. You know, it's not, she don't really want to just be friends anymore. Right. And she tried to make a move on him. Okay, so now is he strong enough to say no?
That's right.
Even
that's the question.
Depicted on the time, the situation, what she has on. You get what I mean? She's throwing it on him. So I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna go on record and say, I think
you about to go on record?
Yeah, I'm going on record and say this. I think that he cheated. I think he.
Hold on, but I knew it was coming. It took him a while. It took him a little bit longer than normal. I knew it was on the way. That's why I told you. I know where he's staying. I know he's coming.
I had to look at it for a minute and just.
That's right.
I think he
had to dissect it.
He hit it more than one time. You know what I mean? And I mean, because for one thing, he a man. I mean, into the perspective where he put himself out there. You get what I mean? So you should know that if you with this one woman, why in the world would you set yourself up with all of these women and you're entertaining them like you said? So that, to me, entertaining means you spending money on them, you taking them places, y'all. If you drink, y'all drinking, and that's gonna lead up to the hit.
Sure,
giving them false hope.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and then she probably look at. Okay, let me say it like this. I'm not saying it's true, but there's this saying that women like to be with men who's already involved with another woman. They like that. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's true, but I'm just saying that's a misnomer. Okay, so my thing is this.
Yeah, some. You got to say some.
All of these women out here, and they all probably know he's with somebody. So now they see the money that he's spending out for them, and they're like, wait a minute, I need him in my life. Come on now. So it's a give and take thing. So now for some women, I'm not going to say all women, but a lot of women out there feel like that sex is the thing that I'll give up. Other than him, she going out. How many women do you know that keep a man out there in the world? They'll go buy him a watch or something, or a brand new car, or some clothes, just
some
to keep
sugar mamas, but
well, I mean,
you
know,
know.
but they doing that more for the sex. I'm saying that a lot of women who don't have that money like that, they're gonna give up what they have, what they think that this man wants, and that's sex. So to me, I think that he was vulnerable I'm gonna even say for the reason that, and this can be confrontational, the fact that he wanted all these women. He how many women do you have? How many women do you need as a friend anyway? You go
right. That's a good question.
And
right.
now you sexually active, but I think that she's seen that. I think that, you know, it bothered her sometimes getting caught up in the lies. So she went
So that made her feel
thing.
like we're not together. How she was telling everybody that we're not together because it didn't feel like they were together.
Exactly.
So she's not just going to tell people, we're not together if
she let somebody else hit.
And I know, I know plenty of people out there, especially on the younger end. The guys go out and play, and they have that one sweetheart that they think is gonna
not going
stick around, right? She's gonna be right there, and then when he's ready, she'll be like, okay.
Yeah, we use Cookie like that. Then we talked about that last time. That was you while we was talking with Magic Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Magic Johnson did that where Cookie and all of those different groupies thought that they could. And he said it, I think, on an interview that these women will try to throw themselves and say, "I'm gonna take Cookie from you," and they'll.
I'm gonna take you from Cookie.
Yeah, take you from Cookie, and it will be a sexual act. You get what I mean? And though, why do women think that? Why it has to be? I'm gonna take you from this person, and it's gonna be sex that I'm gonna give you. To think that is the drive, the underlining. You want to say, "Oh yeah, okay, that's a deal breaker. You something else." You get what I mean? And not a mental.
But I think because we've shown ourselves as a gender to be totally unfocused, undisciplined, irrational, and downright stupid when it comes to sex. So there are not all women, but some women know the power of that.
That's right.
And how it impacts the man. So some women will go into it. If I sex you, I can influence you to do what I need you to do, because we've seen historically and even now how we just will have, I know someone, close to me who, I'm married, wife, kids, own a home, but I'm going to go to work, sex this woman, and have a child with her. Like who? Yeah. Huh? So, when it comes to that, so I think women, there's enough evidence,
right.
There's a sample size to suggest that they can use that if they choose to influence and get what they want from men.
So would you go back to the guy if he want to work out the relationship? Would you go back?
I mean, that's a good question, because I was thinking of that. Is it salvageable at this point? And I think that's the advice maybe he's looking for. Like, are we telling him it's over, you need to move on, or fight for her if you really want her? Like, is the relationship salvageable? Because
he is saying that he wanted her as his wife.
Well,
and they talked about marriage, so she could be operating from a place of hurt. Because he hurt her. So like you said earlier,
what you sow is what you reap is like
exactly
coming back.
So why do people think it's payback where you slept with this person, so I'm gonna go sleep with somebody? Why is that? Why do it have to be that way? You get what I mean? Why they just don't leave? You know what I mean? Why is it
hurt people?
Hurt people. That's so true.
But why it have to be in a sexual way? You get what I mean? Because you getting your pleasure on too. You get what I mean? So think about it. Think about the men too in that situation.
Because you're angry.
But why sex? You could be angry and burn and bust the windows out of the car.
That's a good idea,
That
Tom.
drives men bananas.
But
bananas when they're
you're entertaining out of that. You get entertainment out of that too. Because it's not as though you say, I'm going to go sleep with him. Now, come on, here, take it. You're going to be in enjoyment, it depending on the guy, I guess. You're going to enjoy that. You're going to enjoy that situation. So is it really to hurt him? You getting some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, like, you know what, Tom? Maybe she been wanting to do that all along anyway.
Yeah, I think so too.
And she using that. Because she can hurt him in another way. Because if he loved her, she could say, I'm glad you said, she can she can create the imagery. For example, she could say, he could be calling. She say, I'm going out all night long, make him think it, and she don't even have to sleep with nobody.
She ain't got to sleep with him.
That's a good
exactly.
point.
I mean, so is
that's what she wanted anyway,
just
Tom.
leave. Just leave. You just go over to your mama house. You know what I mean? Stay over there and make him try to figure out where you are.
Right.
Give him that.
Talk to us, Tracy. Talk to us.
Yeah, earlier we talked about maybe it didn't start off with the intent of going all the way, but things happened, and because of how she was already feeling, maybe she was 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door with the relationship, and they were out, somebody saw him, and she was like, you know what, forget it. No, we not together. No, I'm doing this. We don't know, but
she doing her dirt too. She doing her dirt while he doing his dirt. Because I don't know. I just think that,
you know how they say 2 wrongs don't make a right.
2 wrongs don't make a right.
But it don't have to be the same wrong. You know what I mean? Make it be a different wrong. Make it be. Don't stoop.
You have to give up
level.
your body.
Exactly,
yeah, don't stoop to that level.
You want to give it up unless you want it to give
so
it up.
do I hear you like measuring the wrongs?
Yeah,
like
I'm
her
definitely
wrong
measuring.
is worse than his wrong. long.
Yes.
But I'm gonna say it like this: it's so many women who does that. Even some men, but that's what I hear. They even act it out now. It's in comedy scripts. They'll be like, "Well, since you about to do it, I'm gonna do it." You get what I mean? It's because you wanted to do it. You wanted to get that thing.
And there is
she wanted to get that thing.
And we
know
do
women that I know women though that are like, two can play that game, and that's just how they.
But why it's got to be a game? We got to comment. But why do it have to be a game? In
That's
the
a comment.
fact that no, it actually was. But why did it have to be a game? Why it can't be that you was wrong? I'm not going to stoop to your level, but I'm out of here. You get what I mean?
That takes a mature person. Everybody doesn't have that emotional maturity. Yeah. So it's quicker. It's a quicker response to just say
I'm gonna open my legs because you open yours. You get what I mean? Nah, to me. I just think that you wanted to do that. You can't just.
Yeah, what you wanted.
I think you wanted to do that.
Oh, wow.
You wanted to give it.
Now, in relation to him, I think.
Stop giving it up.
Should she take him back? I think first.
There's a child involved.
Introspectively,
they ain't married.
He has to come within himself before we even bring her. Am I ready?
Yes.
To do what's necessary to be in this committed, loving relationship with my lady or my future wife and my child and be who I need to be. Before you can bring her in, he got to come to grips with what he's prepared to do. Then if he could say, I'm ready to do 180 in terms of how I'm interacting with women, change my behavior, not create the environment to encourage her to do these things.
Right.
And if he can get that together, then, okay, babe, let's sit down and have a conversation. I'm ready to. I apologize for this, that, and the third. We're going to start from here. Whatever you've done, if you want to, he got to own his stuff. He got to say, I brought this on. I created this.
Yeah.
It's monster.
I have nothing to. You are exactly right.
Yeah, you hit it right on the nail.
I ain't even going to charge y'all for that one.
But in layman's term to me, you saying he got to stop being a hoe. He got to say, hey, I'm not going to be a hoe no more. I'm going to come back.
Oh, my goodness.
I want to come back. I gave that lifestyle up. But there's a trust factor there. So I think that the fear is there for the woman that she may think that he's going to fall back out there and do it again because you did it before. So now it has to be.
So it sounds like you're saying it's salvageable, but he has to be willing to kind of atone and then show good faith, good effort, and be in it for the long run because it's not about, I did this, I did that.
Right.
Trust me, it's not up to you. You're the one who broke the trust. So it's up to her when she perceives, when she's ready to say, okay, I think or go real.
No, and that's another thing about the trust thing is that, I tell you, if she is committed to trying and walking down that road into rebuilding trust, he, first he has to, communicate with her, what is it that you need to see in me? And hopefully she can articulate that. Then he has to be consistent over whatever period of time it is. Hold on. He has to be consistent in. Hold on. He has to be consistent in putting himself in positions or scenarios where she can see that he is trusting. Like you create for example, say
you fall in control.
No, say he's blowing money.
Yeah.
Say they pay bills together, and he blows money. So in order to regain that trust, he would have to let me start paying bills consistently on a regular basis. Then over a period of time, now I see I can trust you again because you have sustained, the behavior.
But what if he do that and still go gamble though? What if he say, okay, I'm gonna take care of the bills, now I'm gonna go gamble?
I ain't saying. That's the caveat I'm saying.
But this is the thing. I think we gotta be careful when we have someone else to set the standard in terms of I'm gonna come into you and I'm gonna tell you, hey, listen, what do I need to do? Now there's control set there because now you're gonna keep this on me and always tell me, well, you got to do this, well, you got to do that, then I'll take you back. I think that can be a little dangerous right there.
So what do you recommend?
Well, I think that is a thing where the word trust doesn't mean I'm gonna be honest with you. Trust don't mean I need to trust you. Trust means to me, I need to trust you. Not I need to see you. I need to really believe, because there's gonna be some times where you be gone for a couple of hours. Now, that person really not doing anything. But in my mind, I still don't trust you. I still think, well, maybe he haven't called and, and see, he back to his old ways. You get what I mean? So I think it's more where she got to come to the grips where to say in her mind that I trust you.
No. I'm gonna say this before you jump in.
Hold on, wait a minute, because you talk for a minute. Let me
Go
say.
ahead.
So you saying that, for me to be a better person, because if I harbor that lack of trust, it's going to eat at me. It's not going to eat at that person. I have to come to grips to say, you know what? The fact that I'm coming back to this relationship is to say that I believe that I can trust you. It's going to take some time. I'm not going to say every time you go out every night that I'm not going to think you out there cheating. But now I'm coming into the relationship because I think we can work on it. Now, what we do in front of each other is one thing, but when you leave outside of me and I don't see you, I got to believe that you're not out cheating on me. Now, how do you build that to know that this person has gotten it right, unless they just go out there and you just believe they got it right? Like, how would you know? What act could you do that's gonna make me believe that if you went to the club with your boys, that I can trust that you're not gonna cheat on me?
Okay.
Where is that?
Okay, so let's
show that.
Let me back it out, because I do agree. There is a point in any relationship that there has to be some faith that I can't see it. So let's start there. So, but if in fact, there are certain places that let me even back up to the point you made about when you say, when she says to me, babe, these are some things I need from you. Right. And as opposed to, like you said, she just need to trust me. That allows the man or the woman to shirk personal responsibility. I can't hold you accountable for anything. I can't, you give me your word of what you're going to do, and you're saying that, no, you don't have to give me your word. So there's no point of accountability that I can say, we agreed on this, so now I can hold you accountable for what you said. So my thing is, in terms of the trust, so if I'm going to the strip club, and that whole environment, all the stuff I did, helped create the environment or the culture for me to cheat, sleep with other women. Part of that will be, if I ask her, she said, well, babe, I need you to stop going to the strip club.
But that's on him, though.
Right, hold on. She's asking me, is that something I'm prepared to do to begin to rebuild?
I don't need you to tell me that. I don't need you to tell me that.
I'm going to ask her.
Hold on, but listen.
I'm going to ask her what she wants.
If you have to tell me that, then you don't need to be with that individual. Let me tell you why. Because you said it the first time when you came in. You said that this person have to figure out that they're not going to do these things anymore. So my thing is that that's not about her. That's not for her to say. That's for him to figure that out. Because listen, she said that I trust you by coming back into the relationship. I'm trusting you. Now it's up to you to take the responsibility as a man, or not being a whore, to say that these are the things that I'm gonna figure out on my own. So she don't have to say. In other words, I think it's even biblical that you will know them by their actions, or by the seed. So by your actions, it's going to show me that I can trust you. It's not that you tell them, hey, listen, I don't need you in these clubs no more. I don't need you.
But you're in the dog. He's in the doghouse. Whoever it may be, they're in the doghouse.
How are they in the doghouse if you came back?
They got to get it. They're still in the doghouse.
Right.
Okay. Now they might be on the property.
Right.
But they in the doghouse.
So what does
the doghouse mean?
The doghouse means that you hurt me. I'm still mad at you.
But we're gonna try to work this out.
We're gonna try to work this out.
Right.
But like you say, you gotta have that clear communication of what it is I need to see. Now, I agree with you. Should it be ongoing forever and ever? You should see growth.
There you go.
Okay. If both participants are willing participants in this forgiveness process, it has to be a little give on each side.
Right.
But yeah, to say that there's no room for you to communicate what it is that I need to see from you.
I'm not saying that you don't communicate, because that's what relationship is about, communication.
Right, most definitely.
I'm saying that you don't need to put restrictions on me or what you don't want to see.
Why
me
you use
do.
the term restriction?
Well, let me tell you why. Because I'm giving you. Let me use the terminology. No, I'm giving you the control. Let me tell you why. When I come back into the relationship and he comes back, he's vulnerable just like she is, and he's saying, "Oh, baby, whatever you want me to do." He ain't ready. When he make the statement, whatever you want me to do, I'm gonna do it. No, because I shouldn't have to tell you whatever I want you to do. You should know and say, hey, listen, that was, I did some wrong things. And matter of fact, let me get it out on the table, the things that I've done. So I've told you what I've done, and I'm telling you I'm not gonna do it again. So now that should be enough for you to say, hold on. That should be enough for you individually to say that, hey, listen, okay, if that's what you say, I'm going to take you at your word. Now, the only way I'll step in is because your actions are going to show something different. If your actions are showing something different, then I can say, hey, listen, you said you was going to do this, but you still have these same signs. I shouldn't have to tell you, hey, listen, don't go to the strip club no more. Hey, listen, I need you to call me at 3 o'clock in the morning. You should be able to do this. Hold on, let me tell you.
Because there's no trust there now.
If I'm at the club and it's going on 1 o'clock at night, then I should be able to pick up the phone and call my wife or my girl up and say, hey, look, I'm still up here at the club, I'm with such and such. In other words, that's what real accountability is. I'm telling you where I am, and I'm going to be home at such and such time. Now, I'm as a man, I'm telling you what I'm going to do by my actions, and you're seeing it. Not because you're telling me, hey, look, I don't want you over here. I don't want you saying out with such and such. I don't want you to do this.
Yeah.
All I'm telling
that's
you,
control now.
That's a full level of control, because now you're not allowing me to show you on my own. Now, to me, if I got to tell you, then you ain't willing to change.
Well, let me say this, though. Mm-hmm. That suggests to me that I, Robert, which I don't, that I know everything. Because in some cases,
what do you mean know
I'm about to tell you, saying that she, like in my mind, I think like a thought disorder. No matter what, in my mind, this makes sense to me. So sometimes we need, and it might be your girl, your wife, but sometimes you need somebody to give you wise counsel on something that you just don't see.
But now you talking about your wife, though.
I'm saying my wife or girlfriend, whoever. What I'm saying is
that's counseling.
Me coming to her, but that don't mean you can't get it from the person you love. So if I'm sitting here with her,
set up something.
We coming back together. Say,
do a scenario.
Let's
do a scenario. Okay, y'all come back together. You cheated and she cheated, and y'all want to come back together. What would be the defining moment in that? What would you say?
We're going to, in terms of our relationship, we're going to talk about what are the things that led to us cheating.
I said that already.
Hold on.
Okay.
And then, we're going to say that. Then we're going to say, though we're going to agree not to do these things. We're going to not cheat intentionally, not by happenstance. So we're going to put on the table these things that led to that. That's what we're not going to do.
That's obvious that you're going to say that. Obviously, you're going to tell them, because that's why y'all coming back. I'm not saying that you shouldn't say verbally.
This is what I need from you.
No, not this is what I need from you, but this. Okay, so now if that was me, I would be like, listen. Okay, I wouldn't say listen, but you know what I'm saying? I'll come back and listen. I know I hurt you. I know I hurt you bad. I ran the street. I cheated on you. I've been in a lot of bad situations, and I did a lot of lying, and I know that hurted you. Okay, so now, but I'm willing to work on our relationship. Okay, now, I don't need you to define what that means.
But we're together. But what if you don't know?
But listen. But I didn't put it out there.
That's you, Tone. But a lot of guys don't know.
No. Well, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. To me, in this relationship that we're talking about specifically, I'm saying, in order for them to come back, in order for him to come back and her to come back, I don't believe that he needs to define the things that he's not going to do anymore. I think that he needs to say what he did. Oh, okay. Now, I even got something to back that up. don't want to go there, but I'll say Scripture even say that. What love is. Love has no reminder of wrongdoing. That's what it says. So what does that mean? That means that I don't have to come back and say, okay, I don't need you to do this, do this, do this. But what you did come and tell me, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. And these are some things that I did just to put them out there. So if it's going to make you feel confident.
I don't think it should be a prescription like you're describing.
Right.
I don't think it should be like, okay, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Right.
But what I do think is the way that you are approaching it,
right.
it leaves room for, so giving you the scenario,
right.
So you're doing all the stuff that you think she needs to see, but then but then there's that one time where she calling you and she like, where you at?
That's on you then. But that's on her.
But it gets on your nerves, right? Because you're like, well, I already did this and I already showed her that and I already doing it. It ain't enough, you know, because you guys never did have that conversation about what she or he needs in order to feel secure.
So now her trust is not fully there.
Yeah, that's like
we agree.
Control. That's control. No, but you should.
I mean, it shouldn't be there because I don't trust you because of your behavior.
But no, listen what I'm saying. It still goes back to the fact that what you said. The fact that I'm not picking up the phone when you want me to call, that's you. That ain't got nothing to do with him.
But it's a result of your behavior.
No, listen. No, listen. Now you got to go with patterns. Okay, so now let's define what a pattern is. Something that repeatedly happened over and over again.
Yes.
So if he hasn't given you that reason, why would that be a mistrust?
Okay, so putting it in context though, we're talking like fresh. Now, I can see your point. I can absorb your point a little more if we're talking 2 years in, 3 years in.
I'm not. I'm talking about a month in.
No.
A month. Listen, let me say. So what you're saying is this. So if I'm 30 days in, let's cut it. We can cut it a month. It don't change. If I'm a month in this relationship, we come together. We have already said what happened. We know we're gonna play that game. This would happen. But I tell you this. Listen, I'm sorry, but we can add this to it because I would be remiss not to do this. We can even go to counseling. We can even go to counseling, but I think that us going to counseling is healing the relationship. So let's put all of the dues that we should be doing. We going to counseling. I don't even know if you should if you dating, but you going to counseling. Let's just add it in. You going to counseling because you're trying to work on your relationship so that you can be married. I still don't believe that means that I got to tell you. There's nothing wrong with telling you where I'm going. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But that's me coming to you. That's not you stepping in the front room. Where you going? Who you going with? Now, see,
how long you gonna be gone?
I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should be. Now, I think that's totally wrong, and it's still going back to our standard. I think that if I'm telling you I'm going out with the fellas, we're going out. I don't think that you need to dig in deep on me. Because you should understand that I want to work on our relationship. So you should trust me to know that I'm
off
not
the bat.
Listen, let me tell you why. off the freaking back. Only because you came back into this relationship with me, and we going to counseling. We going to counseling. We working on a relationship. So now, why would you want to question where I'm going when you know? Listen. A man or a woman is going to cheat regardless. It don't matter.
I said that before.
We agree.
Right.
But so
where there's a will, there's a way.
But so what I'm saying is that if you know that, what can you say to that person that's going to stop them? What can you say?
It may be artificial. I get what you're saying in terms there has to be an intrinsic motivation. It has to come from within.
Right. Break it down. But what can you break it down?
See, but the thing, Tom, regardless of if people going to cheat, regardless, there are certain behaviors. Like I'll use the term. This is my term. Besides Jesus Christ coming back, and every man's appointed to die at least once. Besides that, I go with the likelihood of. So there are certain behaviors that increases the likelihood of certain things happening. Certain things cause and effect behaviors. So even with me, there are certain things that being in a relationship that I probably need to hear from her that I might not be aware of. Babe, maybe you shouldn't do this because of this. I might not even know. I mean, so my point is, her communicating to him, because he doesn't, and let's using him. I don't believe just better information. I think he may, and a lot of men do believe that I can do the exact same behaviors and get a different outcome.
Not a change man. Not a change man wouldn't do that. A change man wouldn't even go down that road because they know what caused them to
But how do you know though?
Because they know what happened to them.
I mean, but how do you know that it's what caused them to fall? Like I deal with guys and what they're like. It doesn't even. I'm with these guys 26 weeks.
I said a change man.
Yeah.
You can play game, man.
Right.
I'm talking about a change man. A change man understand what okay, so let's do this. I know that if I'm a single guy, and if I'm hanging out at this woman's house, and we there late at night, obviously something could happen. So what's going to happen is, if I'm changed, I'll know that maybe we don't even need to meet at your house. You said, let's go out to dinner and then you go your way. I'm not going to tell you, let's come over to my house to Netflix if I know that I'm going to put myself into a position. That's a change man. The change man is willing to, he knows those limitations, and then he also know how this thing can go.
He got self-control.
So my thing is for the woman to say that you want to trust me, but you're calling me on the phone. Call me because you're worried about me. Don't call me because you want to know if I'm cheating.
But you're assuming that the point that, so I'm combining both of your points that you made, because you talked about earlier about how a man has to be in a position to be ready to say, I'm ready for change, which kind of you're describing the change man. But you can't assume that when a man says to a woman, I'm gonna stop, that he's at that changed man status.
So what do you do then?
You work on it, right?
No, you don't work on him. No.
I ain't said no. But I'm saying you keep saying change man, change, and all thinking inhumanity.
Y'all not specific enough.
Oh wow, y'all gotta be specific enough up in here at the round table.
Because you're not y'all throwing out stuff, but it's not specific. Let me be specific, because I love being specific.
That's right.
I don't believe that the woman, let me say it this way. If the woman says she trusts you, to me, she trusted you when she got back into the relationship. She's saying that I believe that we can work this thing out.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's what she said. Okay, now, I don't believe that if we're going to counseling, because that's something you need to do. You go to counseling to work on your relationship. I think that that's enough, and I use those tools outside of outside of me and her not being together. I think that's enough. I don't think that she need to tell me anything about me cheating or to make me think that she don't trust me. I don't think that's fair, because we're working on a relationship. You said that you trust me when you came back. Now I'm doing what I have to do as a man to say that it's almost like this. I'm gonna even do this in our marriage. This is my thing. I know that, and I know this is not to our everyday audience, but I'm just throwing it out there. Me being a married man, bigger than my wife, I know God's watching me. You know what I mean? So the fact to me is that I'm going to get some act right, because I know that I want him to see me good on my own without my wife being in my presence. I want to know that I can actually do right by him as well as my wife, because I'm doing right by him, I'm doing right by her. So I know that he's looking at me. So to me, I don't need you to call me on the phone and say, hey, what you doing? Call me because you worried about me.
What else you doing?
Right, that's what I was about to say.
Wait a minute.
You need to consider yourself better than the average Yogi Bear.
Let me throw it out there to the world to show you it's not just me. If you are a believer, that should be you too.
It should.
So now listen, if it's not, then you need to get some act right and allow it to be you. So my thing
flesh is weak.
Hold on. Let me say it. We talking about a person who's willing to change. I don't think that there's room for anything else. Because what happens is we might as well never be in this relationship. If you calling me on the phone over and over again, I'm gone. The relationship is over because you're wounded and you're not healed, maybe before we come into the relationship, we don't need to come in the door. We need to just be friends, even if it takes 2 years. Because I don't want the headache of you calling me, or I gotta feel, I gotta get back because I know she probably think, no. That means that our relationship is not strong enough. So we need to work. Let's just go to counseling. We're not coming into the same house, and we just gonna grow together. And the more time we spend, we'll learn to trust each other. Not because I'm trying to please you, it's because I'm trying to do right by myself, because I don't want to ruin my relationship. To me, that makes a stronger relationship. But
see, but this is the thing about the like when we say, if you're a believer, the thing about it is, just looking at it, I'm thinking about different people in the Bible that, everyone, has a different intimate relationship with God. That's specific. Everyone doesn't have the same relationship with God. Everybody doesn't.
No, you said you're looking at the people in the Bible. So that's many of people.
David, for example. Let's just use David, for example. Okay. I consider him a believer.
Right.
Do we consider him a believer?
He didn't have the Holy Spirit, but go ahead.
Well, I consider him a believer.
Okay.
And, in the Old Testament, the Holy Spirit, it wasn't.
Right.
So
and God had mercy on him because of that.
So David, I consider him a believer.
Right.
But yet still, though, in his walk, there was still missteps. There was still things that God wasn't pleased with, albeit, he was a believer.
Right.
So when we say that because you're a believer,
you gonna go that far back to the Old Testament?
we know it's still a living word. So hold on. So that's what I mean by change, though, Tone. But my thing about change, when you say,
I can change, easy.
But change is not. I haven't met any person yet. Right. Not saying it hasn't.
Right.
That has had something that's traumatic in their relationship, but they've changed instantaneously.
Right.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not saying
so.
I
think changing. I'm saying change.
I have.
I think changing.
You've seen somebody change instantly.
Yeah, I've seen somebody change. I knew somebody who just stopped smoking.
Okay.
They didn't have. They just stopped smoking.
Okay.
They woke up in the morning.
That's possible.
They've done it. I've known
seen
people
it happen too.
who said they just changed their life and they actually changed their life. So that's that. I don't think that's.
That was when they were at the action phase. You didn't.
There we go.
You didn't see this person.
The pre-concept,
right. You didn't see this person when they were thinking about it, when they were building up to it.
That's the process.
When they tried it and they stopped.
I know a friend. I know I don't want to put the names out, but I know somebody who's real close to this family that said that they just woke up in the morning and they went to bed that night and said they stopped smoking and they got up and never smoked again. And there's plenty of people out there who can tell you these stories of them just instantly stopping. I think it's a mindset. I think that you.
I don't believe it's just like that, though.
Hold on,
I don't believe it.
But hold on. Well, let me say this. I believe it's a mindset. If you want to change, you have the power to change.
And that's good you said that, because that's even like we're vegan. Like we've been vegan for 10 months now.
Right.
So we just did it one day. We just said.
I just said I'm not going to eat meat.
We're not going to eat meat anymore. We're not eating any dairy anymore. And it's been 10 months.
Right.
So it was a mindset.
Yeah, it's a mindset. I think
but you didn't have those conversations before. You saw that you in that day.
A lot of people do. A lot of people say I'm gonna stop cheating one day.
And then the next day you telling me that there were no conversations, even just casual conversations.
There was plenty of.
Yeah,
there was plenty of.
Yeah.
You
but
started planting those seeds,
that don't
and
mean
you started.
anything.
But you started planting those seeds prior to you actually making the decision.
Well, it was basically more about how our bodies how our bodies were feeling. We were just, at that point where we're saying, well, we're feeling this way. Let's try something different.
Do you know how many people have broken the law that said that they might change or they might?
Oh, New Year's resolution. You know how some people.
Exactly, New Year's resolution. Or they knew that that's something that they always do. All I'm saying is, in this relationship, that I don't think that if you trust me, if you trust me, the way when we come back into this relationship, your actions have to show that you trust me. You already said that you want to work on the relationship. So now the first part is you're gonna have to trust me.
Work on is the process.
Let me. I just said we go
Trust
into
is the
counseling.
process.
We go into counseling. But listen, my thing is that the process is based on the way you interpret the process. So to me, the process is that I gotta really trust you. It's not that I'm gonna set a stage so I can feel good in my mind and say, okay, now I trust you. That's not what trust is. That's define trust. What does trust mean to you? Because trust don't mean, to me, trust means exactly what it says. You trust me. You put your faith in that this is not going to happen. Now listen, hey, you going out with your fellas? Okay, all right, have a good time. That's it. I trust you. That's what it is. It's not a process to trust, because if that's the case, then
it's a process to gain trust. Once you have the trust, then you're exactly right. That's exactly how
people
it should
get
look.
saved. They trust that God saved them.
That's faith.
I'm glad you said that, but guess what? But hold on. Part of it is faith, but it's clearly when.
It's blind faith.
But when he in the day of Pentecost, he said, you know, it's a purpose of what he said when 120 were there. You will go out and be my witness, right? So people are communicating the good works of Jesus Christ, so people can have something evidentiary. Oh, this is a God. That's what a witness is for. When we do praise and testimony, we testify about the goodness of Christ. Why? So people either encourage believers.
You still gotta believe.
But hold on, encourage believers, and to let the non-believers who don't know, this is somebody you can trust based on my experience.
But I'm going on your words. They still a word game. The Bible is in paper. I didn't see.
It's living.
I didn't see.
But it's a living word.
We get that.
Okay.
I'm saying, but I didn't physically see you do these actions. But I still believe you. All I'm saying.
3 minutes, guys. 3 minutes.
So should he work at it or should he walk away? Bottom line.
Well, she's not willing to work at it. Why?
That don't sound like it.
No, but why? Why she's not willing to work at it?
Because when a woman's fed up.
No, she don't. She don't trust her.
I agree, Tom.
So
I agree.
She's not.
No, I agree with that.
Right.
I don't think she trusts him.
Yeah, well, you should agree with all of it because all I said was right.
No.
Everything I said. So you should agree with everything. So my thing is that listen, if in order to save yourself a headache, either you gonna trust the person or you not gonna trust them.
Right.
Don't show signs that you don't trust them, because you shouldn't have got back in the
If you did
relationship.
that, I wouldn't trust you. So I wouldn't even come back with you.
If you're taking the time to get all the tools to make your relationship stronger, I don't need you to throw in. I don't need you to be on the side throwing in some other stuff. To me, that's not fair. Hey, where you going? How you gonna be? What we in counseling just talking about this?
Right.
Okay, so we threw everything out right then and there. So now I'm about to go out and I'm not gonna be up. In fact, you know, I might give you a call. You see what I mean? But it's up to you to say, you know what? That's what's up. But guess what? This is what I always say. What's ever in the dark is going to come to the light.
At the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to. It's going to come to the light, sweetie.
But let me say
yes,
this.
Yes, it
is. That's true.
You ain't got to worry about it. It's going to come to the light.
No, it's not.
That's true.
Okay, but let me say this.
not.
Let me say this. Every time that my kids was in a situation, I found out about it. And I didn't know anything about it. And I found, listen, the Bible even says that. So for Warmack to say that ain't true, that's contradicting the
It
whole
may
Bible.
not be every
not
single
true.
thing,
No,
but like he talked about,
not every single thing is not.
Doing
But check this
something.
out. But check it. It could be a build-up. It don't necessarily have to be that point of faith.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a build-up that and if you keep on living,
Right.
Yes.
something gonna happen. You just gotta give it enough time. And if it's
But I don't
not,
think it's necessarily going
if
to come
it-
to light to you that person. Now, I agree to come to light, but you might not get knowledge of it. I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Well, it depends on
I believe it'll come to the light.
That's another podcast, y'all. We got a couple minutes now.
No, I care less
I
about
thought it was 3
couple
minutes. Tone, you.
No, I own this, so it ain't no couple minutes. But listen to this. Check this out. I'm gonna say this. If you are a praying person and you talk to God, it's gonna come back to light. If you're not a praying person and you don't spend time on your face, then maybe so. But I believe that if you doing something, if I'm doing something wrong to my wife, If I'm out there hanging out and she on her face, she gonna find out. I know women that would pretty much go to their husbands and tell their husbands about things that was going on in their own life, and their wife didn't even know, and they really didn't know. I'm not gonna be specific with the name. I know a woman who went to her husband. He was high up there in one of the big plans, one of the big threes, and she told him, "Hey, listen, is a woman, blase boom, told him about," and he looked at her like she was crazy because it was true. But so hold on, let me say. So if you don't believe that, that means you don't believe that God will give you a discerning spirit where He will reveal things to you. That means the word is not real in your life.
No, it's real. No.
It could be because you said you don't believe that things.
You're talking about
this is what I believe. No. This is what I believe. This is what I believe. I believe God is real. If I'm in a relationship with somebody and that relationship is not good for me, I believe God. If I'm praying, that God is going to, He can remove me from that situation.
He can do whatever He wants.
Right, He moves to that situation without, He don't even have to, because the light is come to light, like God knows all. Like for Him to keep me safe, I don't have to have knowledge of that. He can remove me from a situation without me even, you said like everything don't have to come to light to me.
Okay.
Like everything that's happening, I don't have to necessarily know about. He can like you saying every time, like if I'm with somebody,
he will remove that person. So you may not find out that person got hooked on drugs, right,
or cheated or whatever
it may be.
But He'll remove
He'll remove that person from your life, and you'll be wondering like, why? But if you're trusting that God is
gonna keep me safe and protect me,
exactly.
that's why I believe the word is alive. I don't believe. I don't see the scripture saying everything that happened with somebody, God is gonna bring it to my attention. I want that.
We 2 minutes. Hold on. I never said it. I said that it still pertains to what I'm saying as being true. It says He don't have to say that. He just said whatever's in the dark is gonna come to light. So God don't have to be specific. He don't have to say, "Oh, I believe this, but it's gonna happen this way." Brother. If you are a praying person and you believe it, like if you cheating in this relationship, Negro, and I'm on my face, I'm gonna know God's gonna reveal to me that you've been doing it by the signs that you're gonna show. There's been so many situations that I've been in that even when my kids were even young, when they was into things in school, just being bad, nothing bad. It could be they caught up with the wrong person, and it will be, and let me go deeper in that. I believe that there's an anointing on a marriage couple. There's an anointing on parents over their kids, and where God will give you an understanding and a discerning spirit about what's going on in it if you're coming to Him. Now, the signs are always going to be there because I don't believe that nobody can do anything without the signs. You just haven't been paying attention. So my thing is this. The dark, whatever's in the dark, definitely will come to light. Now, I believe that. So if you living in my house, I'm going to find out one way or another.
Well, I can go with the other. I think this gentleman, if he really wants to save the relationship, I think he needs to show some vulnerability, some apology. I think he does need to come up with a plan on his own.
You don't think he did that?
I don't think he did it. I think he's seeking for immediate like forgiveness. Like he's still in shock that she did it. He's like, okay, I tell you what, I cheated, you cheated. Let's just push everything aside and let's make it work. I mean, but like you said, the actions are in the words.
All right.
What specifically does that mean? And then if she's like, no, then he needs to, it's going to hurt, but he needs to walk away because at that point, he's only going to continue to get hurt.
That's right.
Yeah, so we wrapping it up, guys. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, leave a comment on what you're thinking. We probably went off the edge a little bit. But the bottom line is that you reap what you sow. Whatever you put out there, you're going to get it back. You're going to get it back. So, guys, leave comments.
Yes, leave some comments.
Listen, I'm going to say it like this so you guys won't take it so serious because I know we got to go. This is we're entertaining. This is the entertainment. Don't be so serious with the comment. Oh, he bring. Okay, so we just having fun. It's all about entertaining. And that's what we're entertaining you. Some things are serious.
Yes.
This is just any relationships. I mean, you know, some seriousness is in there and some truths are in it. But at the end of the day, we're entertaining. We're here to talk, and maybe you want to comment and express your opinion. Go ahead and do so. But definitely like this page. Share it. Guys, listen, definitely. Please share this page. We want to grow this podcast.
Absolutely.
And we need your help to do it. We love you. And peace out. Talk to you soon.
3 strikes, I'm out.